Good morning. Good morning. I want to just really thank you all for coming out this morning. This has been a busy morning for all of us, and we're really looking forward to moving this conversation forward about Access New York. And it was about a year ago that I had the opportunity to meet with Commissioner Calise, and his just level of commitment and dedication to this topic and the energy that he brings to the conversation around Access-Friendly New York. The mayor makes many appointments throughout the year, but this is truly one of his most important appointments, and we want to thank you. And Commissioner, I thank you for what you have been doing over the years' time that I've met you. And so we are here with a group of just important people who are part of the overall New York City family. And we are one city, one mission, and we leave no residents behind in any capacity. We are an inclusive city, and it is important that as we start the process of celebrating 25 years of the American with Disabilities Act that was put in place in 1990, it is important that the ADA is recognized as a civil rights law that prohibits discrimination against individuals with disabilities in all areas of public life. This includes jobs, schools, transportation, and any form of the public arena. The purpose of the law was very clear. It is a law to make sure that people with disabilities have the same rights and opportunities as every New Yorker. And we're going to continue to move forward. Although we've come a long way, we have a long way to go. And our office here in Brooklyn Borough Hall, we are committed to make sure we continue the progress of moving forward. To commemorate this celebration, we are welcoming the ADA Legacy Road to Freedom. This is the bus that is in our background, an important initiative. This bus is driven by Tom Olin, a veteran disability rights photographer. He's rolling across the country to raise awareness and build excitement for ADA 25. I want to assure you that one of his first stops is here at Brooklyn Borough Hall. We're happy that he has chose this as the stop to kick off much of what is going to be done in this region. Earlier this year, I launched Access-Friendly New York City, an initiative to promote a set of guidelines that will advance accessibility of public buildings beyond compliance with the Americans with Disabilities Act. The most important thing we can do is all governmental buildings and private buildings should be access friendly. This is an initiative that is important, and you can't do it by merely sitting behind the desk. All of these buildings should participate in a walkthrough, as we did here at Borough Hall. And we must commend DCAS for making very simple and minor adjustments that allow the building to become a place where disability is something that we are opening our doors to. A person with disability can utilize this building with a level of frequency and a level of comfortability to move forward. To start, we conducted a walkthrough of this building with DCAS, Citywide Administrative Services, and Disability Advocates. We met here in the building and walked through each floor, each area, each room, and identified what changes we had to make. DCAS promptly corrected some issues identified in our building. That include removing metal decorative gates that obstructed a corridor, adding safety traction strips on stairs, adding signage throughout the building, identifying restrooms, lowering the height of paper towel and soap dispensers, adding grab bars in restrooms, installing new light fixtures for our elevators, beginning the repairs on Borough Hall Plaza to renovate the cracked bluestone. As you see, this plaza is going through a massive change you could not walk if you had a cane or a wheelchair or any form of a person who had any form of disability. It was challenging just to walk around this building. And if Brooklyn's Borough Hall is representative of the home of the people, then the home of the people must be the first stop of correcting the impediments that are in the way of those who utilize the building. This is only step one. I am issuing a call to action for every government facility in our city, whether they are in public or private building, to go beyond and above the ADA compliance. As part of our efforts to improve the quality of life for every Brooklynite, we held a public hearing here at Borough Hall, our Access-Friendly New York City initiative last month. The report from the hearing, which I am releasing today, includes the following recommendation, and this is a copy of the report. I want to thank Atalia from my office, who has really been on top of this initiative. And the recommendations include DCAS should conduct walkthroughs of all of its buildings to see how they can go beyond the ADA compliance. All our hospitals, medical facilities, and doctors' offices should be accessible and have diagnostic equipment that can accommodate a person with disabilities. The city should create and enhance incentive programs for small businesses and small residential units to make accessible accommodations. Funding should also be increased for the New York City Commission on Human Rights, specifically the Equals Access Program. And finally, funding should be allocated by the Mayor's Office and the New York City Council to fulfill the recommendations in this report. So this report is a well thought out report that has been put together to address some of these issues. Another component of Access-Friendly New York City is education and awareness. I've learned so much through these last few months through this team of how we go about saying different things and how do we use the terminology, and the power is in what we say. And so we want to make sure that proper language is used. Language is very important tool and a simple tool. Changes in how we talk and how we behave can go a long way in making sure that we are being inclusive in all parts of our society. This includes people-first language. A person is not defined by a disability. A person is not defined by disability. A disability does not mean a person does not want to have dignity. And how we communicate with a person with disability show that we respect their dignity to participate in this city. Handicap is a word that we need to remove from our vocabulary. There's no such thing as a handicap interest. There are accessible interests. When we talk about a person with a disability and a person who does not have one, we never refer to the second person as normal. It implies that something is wrong with the person with a disability. There is nothing wrong. We must reduce the challenges that New Yorkers with disabilities face every day, and Access-Friendly is a roadmap to reach that goal. It's a road that we're going to travel together. It doesn't matter if we travel in a wheelchair, a cane, or a seeing eye dog. We're going to travel this road together to make this city, this borough, this country, this state accessible to all who are part of the American way. I want to thank you so much, and now I want to bring on my friend and a person who I have a great deal of respect for being an advocate in this area, Commissioner Calise.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me here. I want to say that as the mayor talks about one city rising, just hearing from Borough President Adams, Brooklyn is definitely leading the way. So let's go here, Brooklyn. Yes, Brooklyn. All the advocates that are with us today, from independent care systems to Disabled in Action and Brooklyn Center for Independence of Disabled. Thank you, Borough President, for actually listening to me when I came. You know, when I sat and I spoke with you, I was like, okay, does he get it? Does he get it? And then you start involving the advocates and really listening to what everybody has to say. It's really changing the perception of people with disabilities. Thank you for pushing the ADA forward for the next 25 years. And as we talk, and if we think about the Americans with Disabilities Act, it's done so much for us. And it's given us our freedom. And it's, it's hard to think that, we had to wait this long for our freedom. And, we're only 25 years into this, and we have a long way to go. We just had our first Disability Pride Parade here in the city. It had over 3,000 participants, and that's people from every disability across the city. And that's the first time in a long time that that's happened. And I want to congratulate the advocates and everyone that has helped us do that. And I look forward for the next 25 years of the Americans with Disabilities Act. Thank you.
I just want to bring up my colleague in government, Assemblywoman Joanne Simon.
Good morning. I will be very brief. I just came here to participate. I have been working in the area of disability rights now for about 35 years. I can't tell you how exciting it is to have the borough president make the commitments that he's made in this, the most populous and most wonderful borough in the most wonderful city in the world. And to make Brooklyn truly accessible is something that is in my heart. I am looking forward to working closely with the borough president and the other advocates and Commissioner Calise to ensure that that happens. And so I just want to say, woo-hoo! And enjoy the rest of this wonderful day. Thank you.
I love it. And Ms. Joan Peters, Executive Director of the Brooklyn Center for the Independence of the Disabled.
Good morning. My name is Joan Peters, and I'm the Executive Director of Brooklyn Center for Independence of the Disabled. I'd first like to thank the Brooklyn Borough President for the opportunity to be here today and for his leadership with Access-Friendly New York City. BCID has been in Brooklyn for almost 60 years. Our mission is to empower the quality of life, improve the quality of life of Brooklyn residents with disabilities. We provide programs that empower individuals to gain greater control of their lives and achieve full and equal integration into society. We do this by providing peer support, information and referral and advocacy for housing, benefits, and other issues. We also work on a systems level to remove the physical, attitudinal, and communication barriers that keep people with disabilities out of the mainstream. We've been working with the Borough President's Office. Several of our staff went on the walkthrough earlier this year, and we were delighted to see that some of our suggestions have already been implemented. Access-Friendly New York City is an important step toward a more accessible city. Sunday, when I was marching in the Disability Pride Parade, it underscored how important it is for people with disabilities to be out there in public, to be part of the life of this city. Again, we thank the Brooklyn Borough President for taking the lead with Access-Friendly New York City, and we encourage other elected officials and government agencies to do the same. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And Ms. Lisa Morganroth, Gensler Architect, Planning and Design.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm the co-chair for the Design for Aging Committee for the American Institute of Architects New York City chapter. In New York City, there are many wonderful examples of the power of design to create welcoming and safe environments for all people. Experiencing a sense of inclusiveness is fundamental to the mission of our civic buildings, and the AIA applauds the efforts of the Office of the Brooklyn Borough President Eric L in their endeavor to make seniors feel welcome at Brooklyn Borough Hall, as well as all city buildings. For too long, we as architects have frequently overlooked, or perhaps not fully appreciated, the needs of older adults in our public urban spaces, and the time to rectify this is now. The age-friendly design checklist is a call to all of us to raise our awareness of these needs and find inspiring ways to make Brooklyn and all of New York City the most welcoming environment for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And Ms. Marilyn Saviola, Senior Vice President of Advocacy in the Women's Health Program, Independent Care Systems.
Thank you, Borough President. Independent living services where I work is a program that is designed to help people with significant physical disabilities live in the community and participate to their maximum ability by providing them with the services that people need with disability. As part of, I've been an advocate in the disability rights movement for many years, and a Brooklynites living in walking distance from here. And we work a lot right now with access to health care. Even though it's 25 years past the ADA, there is no city hospital or private hospital in New York City that is ADA accessible, let alone community-based centers. We have been working with members of City Council who opened the door to us to a relationship with the New York City Health and Hospitals Corporation, where we've developed a program that reduces the barriers to accessibility for someone for women's care, someone like me getting a gynecological exam. How do I get on the table? Someone, or a woman who needs a mammogram, how do they get there? And even though there's the ADA and very strong city and state anti-discrimination law, no one holds anybody accountable for the lack of accessibility in healthcare. And we're beginning to make some real inroads, and I'm really so excited about the opportunity to work with the Borough President in Brooklyn, where two of our sites that we're working with are coming to fruition, and we're like really excited about that, and so that we can come back in a few years and say, guess what? We can get equal health care now. When we were looking for sites, we had gotten a grant from the Komen Foundation to do mammography for women with physical disabilities. And our goal was to find a place in New York City who would partner with us. We were not experts on radiology, on cancer, on breast cancer, or on oncology. But we know disability competency, and we know what's needed. So we got a grant, and it took us 5.5, it was a year's grant, 5.5 months before we got any site in New York City that would partner with us. In looking at sites throughout the city, they were not accessible. You couldn't open the door. You couldn't get in the room. Colleagues had set up a visit at a hospital in Manhattan, which I'm not going to name today, who had a brand new state-of-the-art women's health center. So our idea was, gee, if we go there, it's got to be accessible because we can get in the door, we can get in the door room. Our biggest thing would be attitudes and sensitivity training. So when we went there, we were at an appointment to see the chief of the mammography area. I was with Catherine, who was my PA, and one of our doctors. And as we're going down the hall, this woman in a white coat comes running down the hall saying, no, 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 people like you can't come here. And I said, what? And then she thought I was hard of hearing or deaf, because she yelled, people like you can't come here. And I said, well, where should we go? And she said, where people like you go. The most amazing thing was that woman had no idea what she said was illegal, immoral, unethical, and no compunction about saying it. We're breaking down those barriers. And I'm really looking forward to working with the Borough President. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and people like you are welcome here, so let's make clear of that. Well, welcome here. So I want to thank you all for coming out. This is the beginning of a long journey. We're going to take this journey together. Okay, we have a representative from the Commissioner from Human Rights.
You're being asked to speak. Hi, thank you, everybody. Sorry, I got stuck in the train, and I didn't have a seat. And and I just want to say, this last week has been one of the most exciting times of my life. And the whole disability movement and the growth and the strength and the work of the mayor's office with people with disabilities and the Brooklyn Borough President's office, but more importantly, the community for coming out on Sunday in the thousands. It was as exciting a day as I've ever experienced. And I just want to say on behalf of my commissioner, we have a new commissioner at the New York City Human Rights Commission, Carmelin Morales, and the whole direction of our agency is changing in a more positive direction. And you're going to see people with disabilities, people that are part of any of the protected class in New York City, coming to our agency and seeing results, getting them done much faster, much quicker, and really seeing a change for the better in the city. And I just want to thank everyone for coming out today, and I thank you for the Borough President for holding this event. Thank you.
Nice to hear you say that, sir.
Okay, we're going to make our way over to the bus and take a nice picture over at the bus.
Okay, this has been for months. And she's wanted to take a picture of you.
I don't know where this picture is being taken.
Right here first.
All right.
Right, my left.
All right, there we go. Next, Danny, you're up. All right. All right.
Okay, everybody got the shot?
Everyone got it?